What's good, fight fans? Welcome to Fight Shit Only, where we only talk about fight shit. I'm Clark Anderson, aka The Fight Doctor. Thank you for watching this brief video where you will find out why Bohachinha, the eraser, Paulo Costa will not beat the Last Stylebender, Israel Adesanya, for the Undisputed Middleweight Championship. But first, a few fun fight facts for you, fight fans. In just under 2.5 years, Israel Adesanya has already fought 8 times in the UFC, including 2 championship fights. Paulo Costa, on the other hand, in 3.5 years, has only fought 5 times. Interestingly enough, in those 5 fights, he's alternated fighting left-handed and then right-handed fighters. In his first fight, he fought McClellan left-handed. In his second fight, he fought Bamboche right-handed. In his third fight, he fought Hendricks left-handed. In his fourth fight, he fought Hall right-handed. In his fifth fight, his last one, he fought Romero left-handed. And tonight, he fights the Last Stylebender, right-handed Israel Adesanya for the 185-pound strap, although Adesanya switches his stance. Space, distance, and time, fight fans. Space, distance, and time. All fights invariably come down to these things, and this fight will be no different. The only difference is the styles of the fighters that impact the space, distance, and time. Space refers to where in the octagon the fight is taking place. Is it more in the center? That favors Adesanya. Is it more with Adesanya's back against the cage? That favors Costa. Distance refers to the range that they're fighting at. Is it more in the clinch? That favors Adesanya. Is it more in boxing range? That favors both fighters. Is it more at kickboxing range? That favors Adesanya. Time refers to 3 things. Within the context of each individual round, it refers to when dangerous skirmishes are taking place and for how long those skirmishes are. For example, in the fight against Romero, in the first minute, Romero was knocked down. A few seconds later, then Costa was knocked down. In the fight against Hall, in the second round, he hurt Hall, but then in a long exchange, he got hit with the counter right hand and hurt badly. The shorter exchanges favor both fighters. The longer exchanges favor the better counter puncher, which is Adesanya, because Costa doesn't think about defense when he's letting his hands go. The longer exchanges also cause more energy to be expended. Time also refers to how long the fight goes. And we know Costa's fights on average only last 1 round. So with the understanding of space, distance, and time, these are my 3 reasons why Paulo Costa will not beat Israel Adesanya. Number 1, his style. His style, Costa's style, is fun to watch, but against someone with 80 kickboxing matches, I can't favor the guy that likes to kickbox, right? So his style is based on the 4 P's: pressure, pace, power, and placement. He doesn't jab well. He doesn't jab. He jabs to the body, but he doesn't have like a strong jab and fight from the center and then get you back to the cage because of head movement and feinting and all that stuff. No, he paws with the jab. He threatens with the power, the threat of his power, and he looks for fighters to agree non-verbally to just get pushed back against the cage. Adesanya is not going to agree to that. With the exception of his fights against Wilkinson in his first fight and Vittori in his second fight, especially in the second round on, those guys wrestled with him and kept him against the cage, try to keep him against the cage from that. In general, once he gets behind those double black lines, I like to call that the danger zone against a pressure fighter like Costa, those double black lines, he starts to circle to his right or left and then get back to the center so he can threaten you with punches and kicks. Costa doesn't look to hold fighters there against the cage. He doesn't look to hold you or step over and punch you as you try to escape one way or the other, or kick you as you try to go one way or the other, because he's looking to let his hands go. He has a good left hook to the body, good left hook to the liver, on the liver side, good left hook to the exploding rib side. He has a good left hook behind your guard and followed up by his right hand, and he has a good right body kick. He's looking to let his strikes go in short bursts. We're talking about pace here, and then let you escape either way you want to go so he can come back to the center, recharge his energy, and then start it again. Look at all his fights, you'll see that. So because of that, that's why he lands so many punches. His fights, he lands so many punches because he's looking for fighters to shell up and let him punch. Adesanya's not going to shell up and let him punch unless he tries to employ the rope-a-dope like Romero did, and there's no reason to do that again, the fight can go longer and he'll have better stamina. He could get away with that, and it could be a Foreman versus Ali thing, but I don't, why even give him more opportunities? No reason to do that. So because he's not going to expend energy holding and come back, he's not going to be able to land as many strikes. And that's going to be a problem because his style is based on landing a lot of strikes, throwing a high percentage so he can land more strikes and those power shots. But his power, in my opinion, is overrated. Why do I say his power is overrated when we look at the knockouts that he has? Well, in the UFC, he's knocked out TKO'd 4 of his 5 opponents, but he hasn't hit one punch knockout power. He's not Francis Ngannou. He's not doing that. He's not Mark Hunt with knockout punch. No, what he's doing, his attritive power. He's punishing you to the head and body with punches and kicks and wearing you down over time. That's no different than what Adesanya does. They just go about it in different ways, but it's no different. Adesanya doesn't have the one punch power either, but he beats you down over time and finishes you. He just does it over a longer distance, right? And not as frequently. So that's going to be a big problem in this fight, that he needs to be able to get a lot of punches off because he doesn't have that one punch power. He needs to get a lot of punches off, and Adesanya is going to be moving. And also his style, he doesn't throw a lot of leg kicks. If we look deeper, not on these numbers, but other numbers, he throws less than 4%, less than 5% kicks to the front leg, and he does it more from his left hand, from when he's fighting left-handers, which comes into my second point. So if you're not throwing kicks to Adesanya's lead leg, you slow him down, his movement down. How are you going to stop him? You're not going to stop him from moving because once you get him against the cage, you just want to let your hands go and then recharge. You're not going to hold him against the cage and clinch him or cut him off and start all over because that expends too much energy. So the number 2 reason, other than his style being number 1, his number 2 reason is that 4 of his favorite strikes are going to be taken away by the right-handed stance of Adesanya, even though he switches stances. If he's fighting a left-hander, Costa can throw his the right kick to the inside leg. He can throw the right body kick, the right head kick, and also he can throw his lead left hook, and then his right hand, which he likes to throw against a left-handed fighter. He's not going to have that against Adesanya until Adesanya switches to the left-handed stance. And I'm sure his coaches understand that we're going to take away some of these weapons. So you might see in this fight that Adesanya fights more in the right-handed stance and doesn't fight as much in the left-handed stance as he usually does. We might see that. Because of that, that's going to limit his ability to get off a lot of the shots that he normally would get off too, other than the movement. So that's a problem. The number 3 thing is his ability to only have about 1.5 rounds of fire. His fights don't last long. He's been noticeably fatigued in any fight that went to the second round against Bamboche, against Hendricks, against Hall. You can say, well, he knocked them all down and finished them in those rounds. He did, but he was also noticeably tired. We saw that in the second round against Romero, and we saw he was half a zombie in the third round against Romero also. That's a problem against somebody that has a conditioning of Israel Adesanya. You hear it all the time, guys, where people say, well, look, all the muscle mass, it takes a lot of energy. I have a graduate degree in exercise physiology. I say that not to impress you. I say that to impress upon you this point. Energy usage is predicated on how much effort you're taking. If you're doing something of short bursts, like Costa likes to pace himself and only do a little bit of stuff, let you go and then come back to the center. If he's grappling and all those things, that expends. The longer the thing goes, the more muscle you have, the more energy you need to use those muscles, the more oxygen it takes to power that energy to use those muscles. So the longer the fight goes, the more that favors Adesanya. And that comes back down again to that time thing that I talked about, space, distance, and time. So watch out for that, guys. A couple things, if you're a betting person right now, the odds are, I'm getting the latest odds for you. If you're betting Adesanya, if you like him right now, you can get Adesanya right at about minus 175. I'm in Las Vegas, so I'm talking about Westgate odds, the biggest sports book in the world. Minus 175, Costa is plus 155. On the under, it's plus 135. On the 2.5 rounds, over 2.5 rounds, it's minus 155. Prop bets are things like the more likely ones: Costa by knockout, TKO, DQ plus 200. Adesanya by knockout, TKO, DQ plus 150. Those are the likely ones if you're going to bet on anything. that's the fight video, guys. I don't see a good path to victory for Adesanya. He's going to be fighting a kickboxing match because of his style. He's not going to get somebody that's going to agree to stay back with their back against the cage. He's not going to get someone that's not able to counter in between his shots, his porous defense. He's not going to be able to throw those body kicks and those head kicks and those inside leg kicks and throw that lead left hook like he likes to throw against left-handed fighters. And he's not going to have the energy to go more than 1.5 rounds. I don't see how he wins. I'll be back after the fight to post a post-fight video and analysis. I'll be the first to admit if I'm wrong, but I got the Last Stylebender to get and still I got him all day, every day. The guy that had 80 kickboxing matches, that has fought guys in kickboxing matches like Adesanya. Again, it's kickboxing gloves, but still, it's going to be a kickboxing match. I'm going with the guy that's the better kickboxer. So if I'm wrong, or if you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like it, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys later on tonight with post-fight analysis and breakdown. Thanks for watching. See you soon.